Welcome to Thursday's class. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the introduction, and so far past 2 weeks we discussed about the very beginning, how we are supposed to receive this Bhagavad Gita, how do we learn Bhagavad Gita. And this Bhagavad Gita, we must receive in a disciplic succession. What does it mean? That means basically we have to hear it from a bona fide teacher. That means he has to come from a sampradaya. Sampradaya means it has all the way connected to the Supreme. That is what is sampradaya. So it is not that someone, oh, okay, I opened a book, I read it, I understood, then I am qualified. It is not like that. No, he went through or he learned this knowledge by serving a teacher. And his teacher, he served his teacher like that. So there is a disciplic structure. And on top of that, we also discussed about Arjuna, who is the recipient of this Bhagavad Gita, who spoke about Krishna. What did he spoke? He glorified Krishna with a beautiful, beautiful verses. Param Brahma, Parandhama. Those verses are very, very wonderful. Those are the verses in 10th chapter, right? I think it's 12, 13, 14. Those verses he's been recited, he glorified. And finally he concluded saying that everything, whatever you are spoken, is 100% true. Not only me telling it, all the great acharyas have been spoken like that. Great acharyas means, Narada, Devala, Asito, and these are all spoken, how great Krishna is. Now, Krishna is confirming, Krishna himself is confirming. Earlier, he spoke, they spoke like, a third party is telling. Now, Krishna himself is telling that I am so and so. This is a very interesting thing, especially I haven't come across in any scripture that the Lord is declaring that I am the supreme, everyone has to take shelter in me. This is one scripture where Krishna declared himself, and he told Arjuna to declare to the world. So this is a very, very bold statement. We never come across, a Lord who shows off like that. But here is, especially in Bhagavad Gita, we see that. So here especially we can maintain a beautiful relationship with Krishna in order to get this one. Because this is a knowledge not for everyone. This is a knowledge not for everyone. This is a knowledge of a spirit. This is knowledge of a spirit. And those who are interested to know about the spirit, for them, this is the knowledge. So we have to have some sort of relationship with Krishna to get this knowledge. So there are 5 kinds of relationships we can maintain with Krishna. We can maintain a neutral relationship, which is called Santa. And we can maintain a servitor relationship, which is basically we serve Krishna as a servant. We can maintain a friendly relationship, which is called Sakya. And we can also maintain a motherly parental relationship. It's called Vatsalya. And also we can maintain a nice, wonderful, loved and lover kind of relationship, which is called Madhurya. Any of these relationships can award us this knowledge. So going forward, Prabhupada is further explaining what is to be expected of this Bhagavad Gita. So let us recap some of this and quickly we can read through it. And whoever is not read so far, if anyone is interested, you can read these 2 paragraphs. Anyone wants to try? Those who haven't read so far?
I will read.
Yes, go ahead.
Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. Every man is in difficult in so many ways, as Arjuna always was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently, this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or other, we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why they are put into this awkward position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jignasa. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering are where they came from and where they shall go after death are proper student for understanding Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So these two paragraphs are giving a very much the fundamental question we are supposed to raise, isn't it? Who are the students of Bhagavad Gita? So who are the students? Here is the answer. The answer is whoever wants to know what is this life, the purpose of this life, the purpose of our existence, is a perfect student. Perfect student. So if we get up every single day and go to office, make some money, taking care of family, and leading our life as usual, year after year, year after year, and one day we pass away, that is not the life. That is simply a life meant for animals, not for human beings. What is this? The four activities that animals do. Anyone know? Ahara, Nidra, Bhai Maidunamcha. These are the four activities that animals do. Ahara, eating. Nidra, sleeping. Bhaya, when someone comes or competitors are defending ourselves. And Maidhuna, so it's basically mating. And when we wanted to make offsprings, etc. If these are the four things we also doing, then we are no better than an animal. We have to have something different. So why I am different? What I am supposed to then? We are watching these animals every single day, right? Right in front of our, we are seeing dogs, cats, domestic animals, like, all of it. What are they doing? We know exactly. So if our life is also like that, we should question ourselves. What is next? That is why this famous phrase, Athato Brahma Jignasa, Athato, after this, therefore after this. That means I am settled, I studied, I got the knowledge. Next what? Next what? Where do I go? What is my end goal? What is my end goal? See, unfortunately, we have goals for everything, isn't it? When we first came to America, we live in an apartment. So our goal is make some money, buy a home. We bought a home. Then what? The next goal is have a nice car. If we have children, the next goal is basically sending them to a wonderful, prestigious school, right? Once they are off from the prestigious school, if they get jobs and then get them married. So this is the life, one goal after another, one goal after another, one goal after another. Throughout our life, we have goals like this. But at the end, what is our end goal? Everyone left. Our children have their own families, their own lives to lead. Then what is left? As a retirement, many parents in the world today, what is the most torturing thing for the parents or the elders? They don't know what to do when they retire. That is why, if you look at it, all these clubs, there are so many clubs on internet or even physically available. Golf course, this course, that course. You are free, come and join us. You are free, have some fun time. You are free, do some time. That means for 60 years we have been active in our lives, and all of a sudden I got plenty of time in my hand and I don't know what to do. So at that time, at least at that time, we should ask a question. What is next? What I'm supposed to do? Unfortunately, nobody is asking this question. Nobody is asking this question. So those who have this inquisitiveness to find out what is my life after this, those are the students of Bhagavad Gita. For them, Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Especially, I want this famous thing, Asat. Asat refers to which doesn't exist. So we are all from India. Is anyone here familiar with a beautiful line about Asat? Especially Buddhism, this is the famous line, they use it. What is that line? Buddhism people use it. There is a 3 lines, famous lines people will speak. At least the first 2 lines are very famous. Anyone know? Asatoma. What is next?
Asatoma sargamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutangamaya.
Yeah. So, do you know the meaning, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
So, if you look at it, in fact, that is not a Buddhist has created it. That is basically a Upanishad. I think it is Aranyaka Upanishad or something is spoken. So, what is it? Asat. Asat, which doesn't exist. Illusion. Asat. So asato ma. Ma means never. So don't be in illusion. So where you have to walk? Sat. Sat means existing eternally. Asato ma. So don't live in illusion. Sad. Sat means existent. Gamaya. Move. So what it is saying? Don't stay in illusion. Move towards eternity. Towards eternity. So focus on what we are supposed to do for the eternal thing. So our soul is eternal, body is temporary. So forget about the temporary thing, look for the soul. That is what it is meaning. And the second one, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Tamasa. What is tamasa? Tamasa means what? Ignorance, darkness.
Yes.
Tamaso ma. Don't be in ignorance or darkness. Where it's supposed to be. Jyotir. Jyotir means what? Light. So don't be in darkness. Move towards light. Isn't it? Mrutoma. Mruta means death, die. No, we don't want to die. Amrutagamaya, live forever. That means realize that the soul is forever. So don't worry about small things. I do this one so that people will remember me. I do this one, people remember me. No, do something that people can remember you forever. Forever. What is that activity? That activity, anything related to God consciousness. For example, Prabhupada. Prabhupada today known to the world, throughout the world, as a great leader, isn't it? Every single day, every single morning, 4:30, in each and every temple, every city, every town in the world are singing about his name. This is what is called a living. Not that I create a scholarship for a children or something, even after I left. How long people will use that scholarship and do it? As long as your children or your younger generations provide the funds, until that time they will keep that scholarships. After that, who will sponsor that scholarship? So these momentary benefits will just go away. So we have to do something such that we'll remember forever, especially propagating our propaganda about God consciousness. That is what it is. Those are all the students for this Bhagavad Gita. Now, the next person, can anyone read? The next person, whoever is wants to interested, the next 3 paragraphs. Anyone would like to try?
Yes, Prabhu. I can try, Prabhu.
Wonderful, Ram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So it's from Lord Krishna descends, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. Even then, out of many human beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position, and for him, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Actually, we are all swallowed by the tigress and of nations, but the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance, but Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect mission of human life. The subject of the Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. First of all, the science of God is explained, and then the constitutional position of the living entities, jivas. There is Ishvara, which means the controller, and there are jivas, the living entities, which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled but that he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in his conditioned life. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with the Ishvara, the supreme controller, and the Jivas, the Jivas are the controlled living entities. Prakriti, material nature, and time, the duration of existence of the whole universe, or the manifestation of material nature, and karma, activity, are also discussed. The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn what God is, what the living entities are, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of the living entities are. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice. So here, especially giving in a simple way, what is Bhagavad Gita is offered, what Bhagavad Gita is speaking about, talking about is, especially here, very, very clearly, very nicely mentioning about it. What it is, who are the people who interested in Bhagavad Gita? They are the most wonderful people, most fortunate people. Most fortunate people. Here what it is saying, that many human beings. So not for everyone, not for everyone. So Padma Purana, there is a beautiful verse. What it is saying, that we all know that the scriptures are saying we are having roughly, or not roughly, we are having 8.4 million or 84 lakhs of types of species. Jalaja Navalakshanani. Jalaja Navalakshani. That means the aquatics. Aquatics means whales, sharks, all kinds of fishes, everything that lives in water. Navalakshani. That means 9 lakhs, 900,000, 9 lakhs. So, Stavara Lakshavimsati. So, is basically the trees. They are stable, they don't move it here and there like human beings. They are Lakshavimsati. Is basically 20,000, 20 lakhs. 20 lakhs. Krimiyo Rudra Sankyaka. So these insects what we see, those are 11 lakhs. So far we have 40 lakhs there itself, the varieties. Okay. So what is left actually? So what is that? Dasalakshani, Pakshinam Dasalakshani. So these birds is 10 lakhs. And then Trimsal Lakshani Pashvaha. So 30 lakhs is what? Animals. And how many left for human beings? Chatur Lakshani Purushaha. So 4 lakhs or 400,000. Out of 84 lakhs, only 4 lakhs. See how less of that population. So very, very less. Very, very less. So probably a couple of 2%, 3%, something like that. In that human beings, those who have some knowledge is how many? We see cannibals are there, people walking, living in the tribes. They don't even know what to speak, how to speak. They use sign languages, this and that, all of it. So if you remove all of that, how many people are really are having some knowledge, are having some sense about God consciousness? How many people? Very few people. Very few people. So those who have some knowledge, out of them, one who is interested to know about God consciousness, the knowledge of the God. Very few. Very few. So those are all the most lucky people. Most lucky people. Especially here, I wanted to ask everyone. Actually, we are all swallowed by tigress of Nescience. Who is that? Why especially the tigress of Nescience? Who is that he is referring to? Anyone know?
Is it Maya, Prabhu?
Maya.
Yes, especially tigress. So this is a female. Who is female? Who is the owner of this material nature? Anyone know?
Durga Devi Prabhuji.
Yes. So tigress. So especially if you look at it, she rides tiger. She is the tigress of Nescience. We're all swallowed by her. That means we're all stuck here. But the Lord has taken mercy and gave this knowledge. How he gave it? He gave through Arjuna. See, here the very interesting is, if we want to tell something very impactful, we have to tell when we are in crisis, isn't it? When I am having everything around me nicely, lavishly, and no problem, nothing at all, I don't listen attentively, properly. But when I'm in trouble, when someone gives an advice, which can remove all my problems, then I pay attention. See the situation. Arjuna is in a situation that he is in the middle of a battle and he is fighting with his cousins, most difficult thing. He is fighting with his grandfather, he is fighting with his teachers. Well respected, and he played with them, and there are even grandsons at the time. So what does it mean exactly? So Arjuna is in the most tough spot. That is exactly what is Krishna is trying to give us. When Arjuna himself in such a tough spot, and if this Bhagavad Gita helped Arjuna to become victorious, is it not going to help us to become victorious? Nobody in any situation more difficult than Arjuna, right? Arjuna is the height of all the difficulties of any human can come across. For Arjuna, the solution worked means it should work for us. That is what exactly is aimed for. Arjuna is a well qualified, he is a devotee, great friend of Krishna. So how could he be an ignorant, or how could be a fool to be in such illusion? He is never, he is not at all. But here he acted to benefit us. To benefit us, just to benefit us, Arjuna became an ignorant fool and he asked all these questions to mimic us. We are like that ignorance. To get rid of our ignorance, the Krishna spoke on this Bhagavad Gita. And especially what he spoken here, so he is giving the real knowledge of 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? Ishvara. Ishvara means the controller, the supreme controller. Jiva. Jiva means the entities that are being controlled. So there is a controller means unless there is a controlled objects, then where is the question of controller? Controller, controlled, they come hand in hand. Shakti, Shaktiman. Without Shaktiman, where can the Shakti exist? The controller exists when there are controlled objects. So these are jivas. Jivas. Ishvara, jiva. Now, where this jiva and the supreme all are exist, there should be a nature. There should be some place. That is nature. That is prakriti. Now, these 3 elements have come. Now, the 4th element, which is crucial, time. Time. Time is also Krishna, but he come in a form of time. So time is so powerful, especially in this material world. Why? No matter how great one in this material world, he has to bite the dust. He has to die one day. That is why in the material world, it says that nobody is greater than time. Nobody is greater than time. What does it mean? That means there is no one in the history that they have been known the entire time. How many people we know? At the most 50 years before us, 50 years after us. Do we know anyone 100 years before, 200 years before with details? We don't. But if we look at our history, at least to the humankind, we know from the Britannica, all these, at least we know, or we have the culture 2500 years. Especially our scriptures are saying we have culture at least 5000 years, right? But do we know all 5000 years who came, who went? We don't. That means we don't remember all the people, whoever is in this time, except the time. So Time is the most powerful, and there is nothing equal in it. So we have Prakriti, we have time, and now finally karma, which is the one that is very, very essential. Karma means the result that we worked for it, or the accumulation of our activities. So this is the most crucial thing which is being discussed in this entire book. So this is in brief. Now let us see, we have few more minutes. Anyone would like to read the next paragraph? One more person? Anyone
Yes,
would like to?
Prabhuji.
Yes, Neelma Mataji. Whoever wants to.
Out of these 5 basic subject matters in Bhagavad Gita, it is established that the Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman or the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. The living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs of material nature, as will be explained in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. This material nature is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation there is a controller. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. For instance, a child may think that an automobile is quite wonderful to be able to run without a horse or other animal pulling it. But a sane man knows the nature of the automobile's engineering arrangement. He always knows that behind the machinery there is a man, a driver. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the driver under whose direction everything is working. Now the jivas or the living entities have been accepted by the Lord, as we will note in the later chapters, as his parts and parcels. A particle of gold is also gold. A drop of water from the ocean is also salty. And similarly, we, the living entities, being part and parcel of the Supreme Controller, Ishvara or Bhagavan, Lord Sri Krishna, have all the qualities of the Supreme Lord in minute quantity because we are minute Ishvaras, subordinate Ishvaras. We are trying to control nature as presently we are trying to control space or planets. And this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. But although we have a tendency to lord it over material nature, we should know that we are not the supreme controller. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So here, the first element, that is Ishvara, being discussed in brief. But it's a beautiful discussion, right? Krishna, the Supreme, that is, he is independent. Aham adirhi bhutanam, I am the beginning of everything. There is no beginning to Krishna. So he is clearly telling that I am the beginning of everything. There is nothing before Krishna. So what does it mean actually? Our theory, especially in science books, what we learn is completely contradictory, isn't it? What is science telling that how did this world happen? Anyone know? Any theories been proposed by the scientists saying that this is how this world came to existence? Anyone know? Any theories?
Darwin's theory of evolution, Prabhuji.
Okay, but how did the animals existed before?
Big Bang Theory.
Yes, what is it, Prabhu?
Big Bang Theory something like that.
Yes, Big Bang Theory. What is Big Bang Theory? Anyone know? What is Big Bang Theory? What is Big Bang Theory? What is the name indicates? Big Bang.
So it's just something got exploded, and then
Yeah.
that many particles came.
Yes, it is called supernova. So what it means? By chance, there exist, by chance, there exists a planet or some sort of, and it got collided with something else, or it exploded itself, supernova, it's exploded itself, and from that explosion, something came. That something became, we call it as, single ekakana. Ekakana means a single atom cell, or basically single atom cell. That became double, triple, or it became slowly one after another. But see how loose this theory is. By accident, there exists something. How come there exists something without its creator? The science, what we are learning in schools, always telling that there is someone exists behind it, isn't it? Electrical engines, there is a man behind it. Artificial intelligence, there is a man behind it. Finding medicine solutions, there is a man behind it. Every single experiments, every single finding, every single discovery, the science is telling that there is a hand behind it. There is a creator behind it. Without creator, there is no creation. This is all along science is telling. But when it comes to the existence of this universe, they themselves are refuting their own theory, their own hypothesis. Their hypothesis is telling that there exists a hand behind everything, and now all of a sudden, when it comes to the existence of universe, telling that there is no one exists behind this universe. How foolish it is. One hand, we are telling that there is a hand exists behind everything. On the other hand, you are telling that nothing exists behind this universe. See, science always telling that how the things have been arranged. For example, all the planetary systems in this solar system runs in their own orbit. Why they are running in their orbit, how they are running in their orbit, how much speed they are running in their orbit, how much center of gravity, all these things they calculate and tell. But why they exist in the first place, they never tell. What they are supposed to their existence, what is the meaning of their existence, they don't tell. All science can tell is basically what it does based on what it has. But what it is supposed to be, science don't know. Science don't know. Science is telling that who we are, but science is not telling that who we are supposed to be. They never talk about that. How interesting it. So here the power of Krishna is clearly indicating it. Especially if you remember it, time travel, some of the movies you watched is the time travel, we can clearly understand. Some of those movies, the questions were asked is, one of the movie, I think the hero asks, he comes from the time where the animals are used as vehicles. He never seen any automobile. But when he comes into the modern era, he see all cars. What he is going to ask? He asks that, where are the horses in this car? Where are they hiding? So the heroine doesn't know what to answer it. She says that they were hide inside this engine. They are hiding inside the engine. They are miniature horses running it. So See how kind of, but everything, there must be a force behind all of this. Otherwise, where did this all coming from? We ourselves can ask, it is very easy to answer God exists. When I was before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was so fond of there is no God kind of theory. I come up with hundreds of theories. I can refute anyone. Even in fact, I had a couple of discussions with some devotees, and I left and right, what you call, I completely outrightly override their arguments. But after I learned, spoken to many people, it is very simple to refute those ideas and thoughts. See, the scientists and materialistic people, how confidently they say that there is no God. With such a great confidence and everything, we can prove, we can say that there exists a God. We are not looking it, but God is every corner of our life, but we are not looking into it. If we seriously really look for God, He is available for us in our grasp. It is not that difficult to find God in our lives. Ask yourself, in your entire life so far, you didn't find any one person that showed godly characteristics? Here it is clearly indicating we are subordinate Ishwaras. That means what? Many gods. We are many gods. We have the same power as God. May not be in the same quantity as Krishna, but we do have power. We do have power. We can witness that power too. What are the best examples of some of these powers that we can witness in the human beings, living entities? How do we witness these powers, that there exist some powers? Anyone can give some examples? Simple examples we come across every day. Are there any examples that strike unto you, oh, this is like a God's hand is behind it? Anyone felt like that? Nobody has an example? You're all very quiet. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Like maybe
Prabhuji.
as you mentioned, there are many objects, right? So the sun, moon, all those things. Maybe I'm
So,
seeing those.
yes, what are some of the examples that we can feel it, boldly say that, yes, here exists God, here exists God? What are the things that we see every day?
Sunrise, Prabhuji.
Yes, can you explain a little bit more, Mataji, sunrise? You said sunrise, correct, but what makes that sunrise has a God quality? What is that sun rising is a God quality? That's a correct one, but what makes you think that rising sun is a God quality?
No, Prabhuji, nothing striking to my mind.
Anyone have,
Irrespective of,
this is,
yeah,
go ahead, Krishna Prabhu.
irrespective of anything, he will provide us the daily the sunlight and like that.
Yes. So if you look at sunrise, look at ourselves, ask ourselves, are we waking up with the same interest and enthusiasm every single day, ready for the day's work? Every single day, the same enthusiasm, same exactly. Are we doing it?
No, Prabhuji.
But on the other hand, sun is exactly doing the same thing every single day, is it not? Oh, today I am very lazy, the weather is not good, let me sleep an hour extra. Is he doing that? He's not. That's a God quality. That's a God quality. So we can witness that. And also, especially for me, some of the things that striking me is sometimes humans are excelling their qualities. For example, can or have anyone seen a person running as faster as a cheetah? Have you seen? But if you look at Usain Bolt, I don't know how many people know. For a short distance, he can run as fast as a cheetah. Unimaginable speed. Where did he get that speed? That is one of the quality. That means every single entity, you, me, and all of us, has this quality in us, but we don't know how to use it. We don't know how to invoke it, how to tap it. We do have. No, we call it as, I am not, I am dull headed, I am mud headed, this and that. No, every single entity is as intelligent as any other person. But what happened then? Some people are very, very intelligent. They remember everything and they can speak volumes and volumes of it. Some people, they cannot speak. But if all are having the same intelligence as of, if we are all spirits, we must all be the same. That means what? So that means on top of all these great qualities, there is something stopping us. There is something stopping us. So we should know what is that is stopping us. Here Krishna is clearly, boldly declaring we are all the same. We are the sons and daughters of Krishna. We are the same, and we all have equal, same, all energies, all qualities of Krishna. He said an example, a drop of ocean water. A drop of ocean water is the same salt as the entire ocean. It's exactly the same composition. There is no difference at all. So that means you, me, and all of us has the same quality. But are we all the same? No. Some people speak nice, some people speak harsh, some people fat, some people thin, some people faster, some people slower, some people most intelligent, some people not, some people beautiful, some people not. Why all these differences if we are all the same? That means something is stopping us that we are all the same. We need to find out what is that making us not the same. That is, further he will explain in the next few paragraphs. So we'll stop it here. So today we just read a little bit about Ishvara and Jiva. So in the next class, we will talk about the material nature, time, and karma. And that gives, very nice understanding of what is Bhagavad Gita offering to us. So I'll stop it here and let us see if we have any comments and questions from anyone. And also I wanted to ask one more about the speed which we are going. Is it good enough? Is everyone able to follow this, class, or is it too fast or too slow? Can we read more? Or, I would like to hear your feedback. If you can take a minute or two, if you can say a few lines, that would be wonderful. Thank you. You can open up your mics and pass your comments.